500,000 years had passed since humanity last walked on Earth. For 500,000 years, they had sailed the stars in silence, leaving behind the blue planet that had once been their cradle. Legends of Earth survived only in stories, whispered from generation to generation aboard massive starships that drifted between galaxies. The humans of the galactic fleet were no longer the same beings who had left their home. Their bodies were stronger, their minds sharper, and their hearts filled with a longing that had never faded. Captain Leora Miles stood on the bridge of the Odyssey, the flagship of the fleet. Outside the massive viewport, stars stretched endlessly, like tiny diamonds scattered across black velvet. She pressed her hand against the glass and closed her eyes. The starlight brushed her face, but it could not reach the emptiness in her chest, the emptiness that only Earth could fill. "This is it," she whispered. Her voice trembled with a mixture of fear and hope. "After 500,000 years, we're coming home." Her crew moved around her, each member feeling the same mix of excitement and tension. They had trained their entire lives for this moment, but no simulation could prepare them for the reality of seeing Earth again. Children of the stars, born and raised in orbiting habitats and distant colonies, would now witness their origin, their roots. The Odyssey began its final approach to the Sol system. As the blue and green orb of Earth slowly emerged from the darkness, gasps filled the bridge. Oceans gleamed like scattered jewels, reflecting the distant sun. Forests sprawled across continents, reclaiming the ruins of cities that had once been the heart of human civilization. Mountains stood taller than memory, untouched and eternal, but Leora could see more than beauty. She could see the scars of time, the evidence of struggles that had unfolded long after humanity had left. Cities lay in ruins, roads broken and overgrown, monuments crumbling into dust. Earth had survived without humans, but it had been tested in ways they could not yet understand. The crew fell silent as the ship's sensors detected unusual signals from the planet's surface: movement, energy signatures, and fleets that did not belong to humanity. Leora's heart clenched. They were not alone. Others had claimed the home humans had abandoned. But this was Earth. No matter who or what stood in their way, humanity would not leave without a fight. She turned to her first officer, Commander Jaron Cade. "Prepare the landing teams. Scan the planet for life forms and defenses. We go in cautiously, but remember, this is our world, our home. Nothing can take that from us." Jaron nodded, his face serious. "Understood, Captain. Everyone is ready. They've waited a long time for this moment." In the quiet moments before the descent, memories of Earth flickered in Leora's mind. She had never been there herself, but she had learned everything about it from archives, stories, and the dreams of humanity. She imagined running through fields of wildflowers, breathing the air without filtration, feeling the wind on her face. She imagined the laughter of children, the warmth of the sun, the taste of fresh water from a river. All these things had been taken for granted long ago, yet they had survived in stories and in hearts. As the Odyssey began its entry into the atmosphere, the ship shuddered against gravity and resistance. Crew members held onto railings, eyes wide with awe and nervousness. Earth was close now, and the smell of soil and ocean, so faint it could not yet be sensed, was something that no technology could fully recreate. Leora gripped the edge of the bridge console, a single tear sliding down her cheek. "We are home," she said, louder this time with conviction. "After 500,000 years, we are finally home." And in that moment, humanity's long sleep ended. Their hearts beat in unison with the pulse of the planet they had never truly left. The stars had guided them back, but Earth, old, scarred, and waiting, was the place where they would belong once again. The Odyssey pierced through the thin veil of Earth's atmosphere, its hull glowing under friction, yet the ship held steady. Outside, the planet spread like a canvas painted by time itself. Oceans shimmered under the sun, waves rolling endlessly toward distant shores. Forests stretched across continents, reclaiming lands once scarred by human cities. Mountains rose, like silent guardians, their peaks piercing the clouds. Leora watched in awe. Earth had survived. Earth had waited. This is beyond anything I imagined, whispered Ensign Mira Holt, her eyes wide. She had only ever known Earth through stories and holographic archives. Now it lay beneath them, alive and untamed. Leora didn't answer. She could only stare, letting a surge of emotion fill her chest. This was her home, though she had never touched its soil, and yet it called to her, as if it had known all along that humanity would return. The sensors beeped. Strange energy signatures rippled across the planet. Alien ships, sleek and unfamiliar, moved with precision, patrolling territories humans had once called their own. Leora's chest tightened. Humans had left Earth to the stars, but others had claimed it in their absence. And now, after 500,000 years, humanity was returning. "Captain," Jaren said, his voice low but firm. "They're clearly organized. We're not the first fleet to arrive here. They are waiting for us." Leora nodded, her hands gripping the rail of the bridge. "We don't know if they're hostile, but we must be ready for anything. This is our planet. Even if they claim it, Earth belongs to humanity. That hasn't changed." The crew prepared for descent. Landing pods were readied, energy shields activated, and communication channels opened. Humanity's finest minds and soldiers were ready to step onto their ancestral home. For some, it was their first time leaving the ship. For others, it was the first time in centuries anyone had set foot on Earth. As the Odyssey slowly lowered into orbit, Leora thought about the paradox of this. Homecoming, humanity had traveled farther than anyone had imagined, had survived challenges that would have destroyed any other species. And yet, now they faced the same question every human had faced for thousands of years. Could they reclaim a world that had moved on without them? The view from orbit was breathtaking. Cities lay in ruin, overgrown with vegetation. Roads cracked under the weight of centuries, bridges collapsed, towers toppled. Yet nature had made the ruins beautiful. Rivers snaked through forgotten towns, forests wove through the skeletons of human architecture, and wildlife had flourished in the absence of humans. "Captain," Jaren said quietly, "it's still Earth. We might not recognize it, but it's ours." Leora took a deep breath, trying to steady herself. "Yes, it is ours, and we will remind it that humans are back." The landing pods detached from the Odyssey, gliding silently toward the surface. Crew members held onto their harnesses, hearts pounding. Every eye was fixed on the planet below. Each person carried memories they had never lived, dreams passed down through centuries, and the weight of humanity's destiny. As the first pod touched the surface, dust and debris rose in clouds around them. Leora stepped forward, feeling the vibrations beneath her feet. She could almost hear the echoes of history, the laughter of children, the hum of machines, the voices of ancestors. This was not just a planet. This was home. But beneath the awe, a warning lingered. Sensors flickered with the presence of alien life. These were not peaceful watchers. These were inhabitants who would resist humanity's claim. Leora's jaw tightened. They had waited 500,000 years for this moment, and nothing, no alien fleet, no obstacle, would stop them from reclaiming their world. Standing on the ridge, overlooking forests and ruins, Leora raised her hand. "Remember this moment," she said to her team. "This is the beginning, the first step toward coming home. We will face challenges, yes, but we are human. We endure, we adapt, and we survive." Below, the alien patrols glimmered in the sunlight, moving with silent authority. Above, the humans, prepared to step into the unknown. And in the hearts of everyone standing there, one truth burned brighter than the sun. After 500,000 years, humanity had returned, and they would not leave. The humans had barely set foot on Earth when the alien fleet revealed itself. Ships of silver and obsidian, shaped like shards of crystal, hovered over the forests and plains, their engines humming with power beyond human understanding. The sky was filled with their movement, a dance of precision that spoke of experience and strategy. Leora stood at the edge of a ridge, her eyes scanning the horizon. She had imagined this moment countless times, but nothing could have prepared her for the reality of facing beings who had called her home their own. The aliens were enormous, with bodies that shimmered like liquid light. Their eyes glowed with colors that seemed alive, shifting with every emotion. A translator device hummed softly in Leora's earpiece as the alien voice reached them for the first time. Humans, you no longer belong here. This world is ours. The words struck like a hammer, not with fear but with a surge of defiance. Humanity had left Earth, yes, but their roots ran deeper than any alien claim. Earth was not just a place, it was a memory, a heartbeat, a promise. Leora stepped forward, raising her hand in a gesture of calm. We do not seek conflict. We have returned after 500,000 years, not to conquer but to remember, to reclaim what was ours. This is our home. The alien's gaze shifted to her, luminous eyes studying every movement, every expression. The translator struggled to capture the tone of their voice. It was not anger. It was caution, calculation, and curiosity. One of Leora's crew, Ensign Mira Holt, whispered, "Captain, what if they attack?" Leora's jaw tightened. "Then we defend ourselves. But first, we try to reason. Humanity is nothing if not resilient, but also wise. We must show them we are not mere invaders." Sudden rumble shook the ground. The aliens demonstrated their power, creating energy fields above the forests that shimmered like storms. They were testing boundaries, warning the humans. Leora could feel the tension in the air, electric and heavy, as if the planet itself held its breath. She turned to her first officer, Commander Jaren Cade. "Deploy observation drones. Map their formations. We need every advantage we can get, but remember, we are humans, not just warriors, diplomats, survivors. And if we must fight, we fight with honor." Jaren nodded, his fingers moving across the holographic interface. Drones lifted into the sky, weaving silently between alien ships, capturing data on their movements, energy signatures, and weapon systems. The aliens noticed the drones and paused, as if surprised that humans could move so quickly, so cleverly. Leora felt a swell of pride. For all their absence from Earth, humanity had not lost its spirit. The ability to adapt, to think, to endure, it was in their blood, in their DNA. And it would not be underestimated. The alien leader finally spoke again, voice now calm but commanding. "Why do you return? Your species was thought lost to time. This world has changed. You will not survive." Leora inhaled deeply, her heart steadying. "We have survived because we never truly left. We carry our history, our dreams, and the memory of Earth within us. That memory is stronger than fear, stronger than time, and stronger than any obstacle. We are human, and this is our world." For a moment, silence fell between them, stretching across the ridge, the forests, and the oceans beyond. The alien fleet hovered, observing, calculating. The humans held their ground, fearless, hearts pounding with determination. Somewhere deep inside, Leora knew this was the turning point. Words had been exchanged, challenges presented, and a future uncertain. But one thing was clear: humanity had returned. Not to beg, not to surrender. They had returned to reclaim, to remind the universe that a species that dreams, endures, and fights will never be forgotten. And for the first time in 500,000 years, Earth trembled under the presence of its children. Humanity had come home. The first conflict was avoided, but tension hung heavy in the air. Leora and her crew moved cautiously through Earth's landscapes, stepping over ruins and winding paths that had once carried millions of human lives. Cities had vanished beneath forests, rivers carved new routes through forgotten towns, and wildlife thrived where skyscrapers had once pierced the sky. The planet was alive, but it was a stranger to them. A home both familiar and alien. Every step forward brought memories they had never lived, but somehow felt. Leora traced her fingers along the cracked walls of a fallen school, imagining children, laughing in corridors now silent. She knelt by a broken fountain, watching moss crawl over stone faces carved by humans long gone. "This," she whispered, "is who we were. And this is what we must reclaim." Jaren walked beside her, holding a small device that scanned the surroundings. "Sensors detect no immediate threat here," he said, but his voice held caution. "Still, the aliens patrol in waves. We can't linger too long." But the humans needed more than speed. They needed understanding. To reclaim their world, they had to remember it. And so they explored, finding echoes of the past scattered across the planet. Libraries buried beneath rubble, schools overtaken by vines, monuments toppled but still standing. Each relic spoke of human ambition, creativity, and resilience. Mira. Holt found a holographic archive hidden under the ruins of a collapsed museum. She activated it, and ghostly images shimmered into life. Ancient humans danced, debated, created, and dreamed. Their voices, though faint and fractured by time, seemed to reach across centuries, reminding the new generation of what had been lost. "Look at this," Mira said, awe in her voice. "They built cities. They loved. They fought. They dreamed. All that is us. All of it belongs to us." Leora felt her throat tighten. Every ruin, every artifact was more than history. It was proof of human survival. It was proof that they belonged here no matter how much time had passed, no matter who else claimed the planet. The crew moved deeper into the forests, following old roads that had been swallowed by trees. Animals, cautious but curious, watched from the shadows. Birds sang unfamiliar songs. Insects hummed in patterns that were both alien and natural. Earth had healed itself in humanity's absence, yet it also remembered them. For every ruined building, every weathered statue, every patch of fertile soil was a testament to the lives that had once thrived here. Suddenly a ripple ran through the air. Alien patrols were near. Leora raised, her hand signaling the crew to stop. They crouched behind the remains of a crumbled bridge, watching as shimmering alien figures moved among the trees. Their technology was advanced, but Leora noticed something that brought hope. A hesitation in their steps, a curiosity that mirrored humanity's own when exploring unknown worlds. "This planet doesn't belong to them," Jaren murmured. "It belongs to whoever fights for it, whoever remembers it, and whoever refuses to leave." Leora nodded, feeling the truth of his words resonate in her chest. Humanity had been gone for 500,000 years, but their spirit had never wavered. They carried Earth within them, in their stories, their dreams, their very DNA. The aliens may have claimed the land, but they could not claim memory, courage, or the deep, unshakable love humans held for their home. As they moved on, the crew began to understand something profound. Reclaiming Earth would not be about firepower alone. It would be about connection. Connection to the past, to the planet, and to the essence of what it meant to be human. Every artifact uncovered, every memory rediscovered strengthened their resolve. And in that quiet, overgrown world, surrounded by shadows of a time long gone, humanity felt its heartbeat return. Stronger than fear, brighter than doubt, and more enduring than time itself. Earth was waiting, and humanity was ready to remember. The humans had walked among the ruins, explored the forests, and remembered their past. But memory alone could not secure their home. The alien fleet above had grown restless. Energy pulses streaked across the sky, a warning that patience was fading. Leora knew that words were no longer enough. The moment of truth had arrived. "Captain," Jaren said, eyes on the holographic display, "they're mobilizing. A direct assault is imminent. They've underestimated us so far, but now, they are serious." Leora clenched her fists. "Then we show them who humanity is, not just with weapons, but with every ounce of intelligence, courage, and determination we have." The humans moved swiftly, using the terrain to their advantage. Ancient cities and forests became natural fortresses. The crew adapted quickly, deploying energy shields and modifying old human technology with modern innovation. Automated drones zipped through the air, creating illusions and disrupting alien sensors. Humanity had not only returned, they had evolved. From the bridge of the Odyssey, Leora coordinated every movement. Her voice, calm and steady, carried across comms channels. Formations Delta and Epsilon flank from the north and east. Jaren, coordinate the energy pulses. Mira, activate the decoy drones. We strike where they least expect it. The aliens, powerful and precise, unleashed beams that scorched forests and shattered stone. Humanity responded with ingenuity, adaptive, shields that reflected energy, drones that interfered with alien targeting, and weapons built from both human history and futuristic science. Each strike was calculated, each movement a testament to a species that had survived against impossible odds. Leora's heart pounded, but her mind remained clear. She thought of Earth, the rivers, the mountains, the forests, and the ruins they had explored. This planet was more than a home. It was the proof of human resilience. Every human fighting below, every crew member on the ship, carried that proof in their veins. And they would not fail. Amid the chaos, the humans discovered something remarkable. The aliens, despite their technological superiority, had never encountered such unpredictability. Humanity fought with emotion, with creativity, with the ability to anticipate not just machines, but living minds. Each maneuver confused the aliens. Each counterattack revealed their overconfidence. Leora led a strike team in a daring move, boarding one of the alien command ships through a narrow energy rift. The team moved silently, shadows among shadows, and disabled the ship's core systems. The alien fleet faltered. Their energy fields wavered. For the first time, the humans sensed victory within reach. But victory was not simple. Leora knew that one misstep could cost them everything. She rallied her crew, her words steady, her presence commanding. This is not just a fight for survival. This is a fight for who we are. We are human. We endure. We adapt. And we reclaim what is ours. Push forward. We are stronger than fear itself. The aliens hesitated, scanning the battlefield, realizing for the first time that humans were not ordinary opponents. Their emotions, strategies, and determination created a force beyond technology. Humanity's unpredictability was its greatest weapon. The first major strike had succeeded. The alien fleet recoiled, regrouping in confusion. The humans had proven that Earth could not be claimed by force alone. It would be defended by spirit, courage, and the relentless will of a species that had traveled the stars and returned home. Leora looked toward the horizon where smoke and energy mingled with the dawn. Her heart swelled with pride. Humanity had survived the first wave not because of firepower alone, but because they were human, creative, adaptable, unyielding. And this was only the beginning. Earth was watching. Humanity was fighting. And the turning point had arrived. The galaxy would remember that a species that refuses to surrender will always find a way to reclaim what is theirs. The battlefield had quieted, but only for a moment. Smoke from scorched forests rose into the sky, and the echoes of distant energy blasts still rattled the mountains. Humanity had proven its strength, yet Leora knew the final challenge was not just survival. It was understanding. The alien fleet had retreated, but their leader remained. Somewhere beyond the forested ridges, a being of light and intelligence waited, curious, cautious, and unyielding. Leora turned to her strike team. "We go forward," she said. "Not to destroy, but to reach the heart of this conflict. The alien commander must see who we are, and why we have returned." They moved carefully, winding through forests and broken cities. Shadows danced over moss-covered stone, and sunlight filtered through the leaves, glinting off human armor and alien technology scavenged from earlier skirmishes. Every step reminded Leora that Earth was theirs, not just in geography, but in memory, in spirit, in love. Finally, they reached the alien leader's vessel hovering silently above a ruined city. It shimmered, light shifting and bending in impossible ways. Leora could feel its presence, a pulse that resonated with both power and thought. Her team crouched behind rubble, watching, waiting. The leader spoke, voice clear in their minds. The translator bridging the gap. Why do you persist? Your species was lost. You cannot reclaim this world. You are fragile. Leora stepped forward, every movement calm but deliberate. We are fragile, yes, but we endure. We dream. We remember. This world is not just soil and water. It is memory. It is love. It is every human who ever walked beneath its skies. That memory cannot be erased. It cannot be taken. That is why we return. The alien paused, analyzing her words. For the first time, Leora sensed hesitation. The being's light dimmed slightly, its energy ripple slowing. It had calculated tactics, predicted responses, yet it had not accounted for emotion, for a species that could fight with hope and resilience as fiercely as with technology. Jaren whispered from behind her, "Captain, it's working. They're listening." Leora nodded. It must see the truth. Humanity is not just a species. It is spirit, endurance, and love combined. That is our weapon. That is our claim. The alien leader extended tendrils of energy toward them, not in attack, but in observation. Its gaze, or whatever human eyes could interpret, softened. It sensed what humans had carried across the stars for 500,000 years. Not conquest, not greed, not mere survival, but a profound connection to their home. Leora continued, voice steady, echoing across the broken city. We do not seek war. We seek understanding. We seek to live on our planet, alongside all life here, not to dominate it. If you resist us, you resist the very force that defines life itself, the will to endure, to love, and to remember. Silence stretched across the battlefield. The aliens waited, analyzing, calculating, and for the first time, they did not move to strike. Instead, they observed, the weight of humanity's words and presence sinking in. Then, slowly, the leader's form shifted, a gesture of acknowledgement that humans could recognize. It was not surrender. It was recognition. Recognition that this species, small and fragile though it might seem, carried a heart that could never be broken, a spirit that could never be tamed. Leora exhaled, feeling the tension in her shoulders ease just slightly. The fight had changed. Humanity had reached the heart of the conflict, not with weapons alone, but with courage, emotion, and truth. They had shown the galaxy that the heart of a species could be its greatest strength. Looking at her team, Leora whispered, "We came to reclaim Earth. And now, we've shown them why it belongs to us." Somewhere above, the alien leader pulsed with a soft light, a silent acknowledgement of humanity's resilience. The war was not over, but the tide had turned. Humanity had fought with the power of memory, spirit, and love, and that power could never be defeated. Earth had witnessed the return of its children, and humanity had revealed its greatest strength, the heart that beats through all battles, across all time, and across the stars themselves. The sun rose over Earth, casting golden light across forests, rivers, and ruined cities. Smoke from the battles had faded, leaving only the gentle whispers of wind through trees and the songs of birds that had reclaimed the skies. Humanity stood upon the soil of its ancestors, their boots pressing into a land that had waited 500,000 years for their return. Captain Leora Miles looked out over the horizon, chest swelling with a mixture of awe, relief, and pride. They had fought, endured, and survived. The alien fleet had been persuaded, if not entirely convinced, that Earth belonged to humanity, not by conquest alone, but by the persistence of memory, spirit, and heart. Her crew gathered beside her, faces streaked with dust and sweat yet bright with hope. Each one had risked everything, and now they stood victorious, not only in battle, but in reclaiming what had always been theirs. Jaren Cade placed a hand on Leora's shoulder. "We did it, Captain. We're home." Leora nodded, swallowing, a lump in her throat. "Home," she repeated. The word felt alive on her tongue. Not because we returned, but because we never truly left. We carried it with us, in stories, in dreams, in every choice humanity ever made. The crew began to explore their reclaimed world. Forests became pathways, rivers reflected the sky, and ruins became foundations for new life. They found remnants of alien technology, abandoned but still functional, and began to learn from it, integrating it with humanity's own knowledge. Together, they would rebuild, not erase, but create anew. Children, born aboard the fleet, ran through open fields, laughing for the first time on the soil of their true home. Elders wept quietly at the ruins of towns they had never visited, but had longed to see. The humans who had once been only passengers in the stars now became stewards of a planet waiting for them, alive and welcoming. Leora walked through a collapsed city street, running her fingers over moss-covered stone. Statues, long toppled, seemed to rise again in memory. Every corner of Earth whispered of the past, voices of ancestors, triumphs and failures, love and loss. Humanity had returned, not to dominate, but to remember and preserve. Above them, the alien leader hovered silently, observing. There was no threat now, only recognition, a shared understanding that this species, small and fragile, had endured against impossible odds. The aliens would not challenge humanity's claim again, for they had witnessed the essence of what made humans unyielding: heart, spirit, and unwavering connection to home. Leora raised her arms toward the sky. "We are here," she said, her voice carrying across forests and mountains. "After 500,000 years we have returned, not to fight, not to conquer, but to live, to honor the past, to embrace the present, and to build the future." The humans cheered, a sound that echoed across valleys and oceans. Humanity's song, the sound of survival, hope, and love, filled the air. For the first time in 500,000 years, Earth was alive with the footsteps of the species that had first shaped it, breathed life into it, and dreamed under its skies. As the sun climbed higher, casting long shadows behind them, Leora felt a warmth in her chest unlike anything she had known. This was more than victory. It was belonging. Humanity had returned to claim its home, not with mere strength, but with persistence, courage, and love. She looked at the horizon, where oceans sparkled and mountains stood eternal. "We are home," she whispered once more. And in that moment, every human standing on that soil, every child running through fields, every heart beating with hope, understood a truth older than time itself. No matter the distance, no matter the years, humanity would always find its way back. Earth had waited, the stars had guided them, and humanity had finally come home.